I'm sure that it talks about me over there, right? So, but if I start telling my story, that would be like 4 or 5 hours. So I don't want to do that. But one thing short, I would like to say that food makes people happy, right? You guys are all happy, right? You're enjoying. When we are hungry or cranky at the same time. So that's a good thing for me. So audience are engaged because they are all are eating and having a good time. So little bit journey about me. I want to say that I'm from New York to Nebraska, hotels to healthcare, and I believe food works as a medicine. So I work in Ritz-Carlton, luxury brand of Marriott Marquis, New York City. Also Ritz-Carlton in New York City. I was the executive chef for Virginia Polytechnic Institute. I opened Cedar Rapids Hilton Convention Complex as their opening executive chef. Then Bryan Health find me 11 years ago. So I'm blessed. I was not sure that why I'm going to work for hospital. You know, so always work for corporate hotel. And then I took a chance. And they told me it's only Monday through Friday. You don't have to work on the weekend. So that was their selling point, and I loved it. So I have more time for my family. So that's the reason that I left New York because it was a crazy life. Hardly see daylight. Goes early in the morning, come home very late. My son was 2 years old, and my wife wanted to tell me, your son is growing up, but he's not going to know you are his dad. So that kind of struck me. So family life balance actually get me going, and I moved throughout the country. I did not born and raised in USA. I born in Bangladesh. I came here as a student at Georgia State University. Did not finish school because I don't like study. I'm a visual learner. So I left Georgia Tech and then ended up in New York City, working in Hampton, Sag Harbor. So I was working in same Japanese restaurant, very posh. You know, Hampton's very posh area, so lots of celebrity lives there. So one day I see Alec Baldwin walks in, and he said, Tora-san, how are you? So Tora-san was our restaurant owner, Japanese owner. I said, oh my God, film actor, this big film actor like him, what a respect for a chef. That actually inspired me to become a chef. And I enjoy cooking and I enjoy eating. So, and that's the story behind. So in 10 years, I have done so many guest speaking to cooking demo. I'm also American Culinary Federation certified executive chef, and also I'm a World Chef certified master chef from World Chef Association. And this year in June 28, I'll be inducted in American Culinary Federation, American Academy Chefs. So I'll be in the Honor Society in American Academy Chefs. But today, what we have done for you guys, sorghum risotto. So you all know about risotto, right? Right? You eat risotto all the time, Italian restaurant. By the way, I'm not Italian. So when you go to Italian restaurants, you eat risotto. But risotto is not mean the rice dish they give it to you. Risotto mean the way you cook the rice. So that means it could be any rice. But Italian, they use arborio rice because arborio rice has more creamy texture inside the rice. So when you cook, you have to keep on stirring the pot. If you make the risotto at home, they say you have to keep on stirring you need to keep on adding liquid and keep on stirring. The reason why stirring, so that way the creamy texture comes out from the arborio rice that makes the risotto creamy. Italian kitchen, you cannot use heavy cream to make your risotto creamy. So you just fold a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano at the last minute to finish up your risotto. So sorghum is hard things to cook because it does not cook like in 10 minutes. So you have to boil for a long time. So the way I do it, I cook it I treat sorghum as a pasta also. So I cook it for a long time with lots of liquid, and then I strain it. And then sorghum, then when part cooked done, then you just do any directions that you want it to move. So risotto, I did whatever you guys are trying. You guys are trying, right? You have it in front of you. You try it? Okay. So, and also just FYI, you have a bookmark in front of you. Did you see it? So Bryan Health actually printed out for me to give it to you guys. So that has a QR code. So if you download the QR code, you will get that full free book free. So this one, I wrote this book last year for our cancer partner. So this is all about healthy recipes. So page 98, you have these sorghum recipes in there. So if you like it, you can make it at home. So it's all about like how you stay healthy and get better. That's the way I see it. So that's why I enjoy work for Bryan Health, because I get to feed my patients, I get to feed my doctors, and I also get to feed the patient's family who comes to our hospital. So I do a lot of different cooking. But the risotto, so what I have done, so I'm just going to give you a quick demo. So pretty much everything is part cooked that I did. So even onion, celery, and some fresh herbs and Cajun spices, I actually pre-cook it. I'm not sure, you guys can see it, right, on the monitor? Okay, so you just put it right in there. So while it's cooking, so this risotto is going to take a lot of liquid. So you can add chicken stock. So the one that you have today, I use a veggie stock, but chicken stock make it better, I think. You can use beef stock or whatever stock that you wanted to do, and keep on adding. And then at the end, you can add a little bit of heavy cream if you want to have more creamier texture. Or if you don't want cream, you can just finish up with your Parmesan cheese and chopped parsley. Chopped parsley goes very well with your risotto. So this is a par-cooked risotto that I cooked it yesterday. So it goes in right in there. So with your onion, carrots, onion, celery, and a little bit of garlic and a little bit of Cajun spice. You can do any spices you want. And then you sweat it a little bit with your onion and celery. Then I make some veggie stock. So then you add the stock as you go. Not like lots of liquid at the beginning, but it will reduce and then you add liquid again. So that's how you finish your risotto. Otherwise, it's become a gummy texture, so it will break down all of it. So just keep on stirring, moving. But it will take me like at least half an hour to finish this risotto. But I'm not gonna spend that much time because you're already enjoying it. So you understand the concept to cooking risotto, right? Yes. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna turn this fire off. Okay. So but I'm gonna keep on talking about our cookbook. So our cookbook is for our cancer patients, so they get started. I do a lot of cooking demo for our cancer survival patients, and also in a hospital, different cooking demos. I do a lot of cooking demo throughout the Lincoln community. So it is important that we use lots of fresh ingredients. Spinach, we know it's a superfood, right? So I was doing a demo 2 days ago in one of the kindergarten K through 5 students. And I give them a blueberry smoothie with baby spinach. So they loved it. But then I tell them, you guys used to eat some spinach too. So one girl was one of our nurse's daughter. So she went home, she tell her mom that we need to make this smoothie with the baby spinach right now. So then they have to go grocery shopping, they have to get the baby spinach, and then they make the blueberry smoothie for night with the baby spinach, and she loved it. And her mom sent me a big letter next day in the morning. I said, oh my God, I didn't know that her mom works for Bryan Health. So it's all about how you changing your eating habits. Blueberry is a superfood. I always tell people that we have 3 buckets to eat from. So one bucket, if your doctor say no, you cannot have any more of those processed food. So that's bucket number 1. It's a cross. So you cannot have that anymore. So then you have 2 buckets left. One bucket, bucket number 2, you have food from around the world except that bucket number 1. So then third bucket is empty. So you have to find 5 or 10 or 15 superfood. You fill up that third bucket. So then anytime you do anything, so make sure from the second bucket you add that third bucket, at least 1 or 2 items in your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Just simplify the process. People always ask me, Chef, how you organize, how you keep things. In France, they call it mise en place. Mise en place means like everything in place. So say you wanted to make chicken noodle soup, but you cannot start cutting chicken and start a pot. You have to get all your mise en place together, everything the way I have set up. Then you start cooking your soup. Also in the refrigerator, a lot of people, so when you're hungry, don't go to grocery shopping. And if you go to grocery shopping, please make a list that what you need and check what you have in your cooler or refrigerators. Because lots of times we buy tomato like 3-4 times a week, you know. We think like we don't have tomato. We go home, there's a tomato. So then we don't do FIFO, first in, first out. We don't rotate product. And I'm sure that you guys do a lot of leftover in the freezer, right? So we intend to put nice Ziploc bag and zip it, put it in the freezer, and then 1 month later, when things get frozen, then it's like all look alike. So you don't know what is it. So that's why Ziploc bag has that little tiny white area that you need to put Sharpie on it. So you need to buy Sharpie. And there's I have Sharpie holder everywhere in my kitchen. So you just pull out, you just little label it and put it in the freezer. 2-3 months later, you pull out, okay, bag of white sauce or cauliflower bisque, or this is soup, this is chicken, this is beef, or this is lamb. You know, lamb, beef, you cannot really figure it out when it's frozen, or pork. So these are the common things that people make mistake. So I know I'm in a sorghum symposium. I need to talk about a lot of sorghum, but there's lots of scientists over there was talking about what is good for you, what is bad for you, all those things. I don't have those data, but I love to cook food. But I know sorghum is gluten-free, and I've been cooking sorghum for my hospital almost like 4 years now. So and not only risottos, I put it in a soup. I put it into salad. So if you sorghum fully cooked and you properly cool, and then what you do, divide it in a Ziploc bag, write it down, put it in the freezer, 3 bag, 1 bag, you just put it on a soup. And then you don't like to put it in a soup, make sure you fully cook your sorghum, cool it off, then you make like nice sorghum salad, like the way you do pasta salad, the way you do Mediterranean salad, or you call it sorghum couscous salad or tabbouleh salad. You know, the way you do the bulgur wheat and then cucumber, tomato, mint, parsley, lemon juice. The way you make the tabbouleh, you just make sorghum tabbouleh. So sky is the limit. So you just have to know the foundation, and then you just keep building on it. So that's the key factor working in sorghum. It's a great product. So one good thing about sorghum that you cannot overcook. So I tried. I cannot overcook the sorghum. So it's like always probably need more, hungry for more liquid or something, you know. So that's a good part. So you can just put it on a stove, slow heat, do your chores and all other things, and then you come back, your sorghum is ready to go. I think I'm talking a lot, but you guys have any question for me that I can help? Or I can answer? Anything you want me to add? Yes?
What would be your top 3 reasons for utilizing sorghum for your cancer patients?
Top 3 what?
Reasons for utilizing sorghum as an ingredient in your recipes for your
Okay, so in that recipe book, it's a 220-page cookbook. It's a very thick cookbook. So we have only one recipe of sorghum. So it is important. A lot of people are gluten-free. So a lot of people has different issues, but mostly I was focusing on the gluten-free patients. So that was because gluten-free, we got sorghum, we got bulgur wheat, and I have in the cookbook, I have different grains, has a different time frame and water ratio. So I have a separate recipe for that. So that kind of makes people easier to cook sorghum or do other grains. That's a good question. Yes?
Where do you source your sorghum?
Okay, that's a good question. So so when you're a big company, big corporation like Bryan Health, so we have Cisco, we have Lufredo, we got US Food, but I get the sorghum through Lufredo. So they are the one who is sourcing. I don't know where this come from, Africa or from Nebraska. I don't know. I cannot tell you. Yes.
So is it white sorghum
Yeah.
or red sorghum?
So this is the red, like grain sorghum. It's not white. Yeah, right, yes.